All right, let's talk about Ricky Pearsall, who is a guy that, he's someone that for me personally, I kind of had as more of like a mid second round type guy. A lot, that's where he was on the consensus. Big board was mid second round guy. So when the 49ers drafted him in the first round, my immediate reaction was, okay, a bit higher than I would have. But, I like to try to be open with my opinions, let my opinions change if I get more information. I wanted to go back and watch some film of him again. And whether you are in love with this prospect or hate this prospect, he is the perfect 49ers prospect. Like, he is a 49ers receiver through and through. He fits the team so well. Let's get into what he can do. We'll start off with this play. So this is the play. This is, if you have watched any of his highlights, this is the one play you see. I believe this was even like a thumbnail on one of my videos, was this catch. Here it is, zone coverage. You see when this play begins, he's going to get into position right here to where, there's a gap in coverage, and well done, I would say, to, understand where the, coverage is, quarterback throwing this at a proper time, but that's not why I'm showing this play. Watch what he does. As you see, he's going to make an Odell Beckham-esque catch and then gets clobbered at the end, but still holds on. The toughness is a real thing with him. He is a really physical player, which you know how much the 49ers like those types of players, right? They want guys who will block, or they want guys who will not be afraid to take a hit. And he is definitely someone who, is really physical. I'm not saying he's making Odell Beckham Jr. catches every time he has an opportunity or anything like that, but he's capable of doing that, which is pretty exciting to see if you're a 49ers fan. But that's the highlight. But again, a lot of college players, can make an occasional highlight. What you want to see is consistency, and what you want to see is how is he going to fit into the scheme. Well, let's talk about that. So let's go to this play. This is the play that Kyle Shanahan, I don't know if I would say he runs it more than any other play, but it's certainly maybe the biggest, most important play of his offense. The over the middle route. Usually he would do against zone coverage, have a play action. This isn't that, but the route is the same for Pearsall, and actually it's a little bit tougher to win these when you're against man. When this play begins, you're going to see him, get the inside leverage pretty quickly, and he moves fast enough that the defensive back for Missouri is actually falling down at this point. So can he do this stuff? Absolutely. When you would see it on tape for Florida, they would do a very good job, and just for fun, this is even more exciting play than just him being able to win this route. Watch as the ball goes there. Obviously, he's in open space, but you're thinking, okay, right here, surely he's about to get tackled, right? Of course, that's what's happening. Wouldn't it be funny if he actually was getting tackled, but I still set it up this way? No, that's not what's happening. Watch him make a move, is going to pick up, a good amount of yards on that play. Really good stuff from him. And again, this is what gets you excited if you're a 49ers fan, which, part of what the 49ers like too is guys who can win in these situations. Is he a pure outside guy who can win one-on-ones down the field? I don't know. Like plays like this, in college, we did see it. It's a one-on-one matchup, go route on the outside. Usually these are what you primarily look for in a wide receiver. And here for Pearsall, he's going to, kind of blow by the corner who's covering him. There is a window right here. So he can do this in college. Now, I do worry, does he have the explosiveness to make it work at the NFL level? Usually, guys who are his size aren't able to fully do this because corners can keep up with you. And then what can you do? I certainly think his skill set says not really. This isn't something that he's probably going to be elite at. Although also watch him track this ball, that's a really tough catch. That doesn't look that difficult, but that's as tough as it gets. When it's directly over your head, you can't track it the whole way. You almost have to lose it at a certain point just because it's right over your head. So being able to adjust and make that grab, really difficult to do as well. So that's promising. But again, I think this is something you would look at and say, well, this is a concern if you're a 49ers fan. Can he win these types of things super consistently? But it's not like that's what the Niners do, right? Very rarely will they say, we just need a receiver to win on a go route down the field. In fact, that's almost never what they do. That's just not their game. So, it's part of why he's a perfect 49ers receiver, is kind of his biggest strengths complement what the 49ers are trying to do, and his biggest weaknesses aren't really things that the 49ers are trying to do. So it works out perfectly. Something like this is another example of, this is maybe more so what you would see the 49ers try to do in situations where they're obvious passing situations. Because again, we all know the Niners love to run the ball, run play actions, those over the middle routes, all that good stuff. But what happens when it's, 2nd and 15 like this is, or if it's like a 3rd down and 9, something like that, where you're kind of, everyone knows a passing play is coming. If you try and run it, the defense will take that because they feel like they'll be able to stop it at that point. But this play is a man coverage one-on-one situation here. But you see Pearsall's route's going to go over the middle. But watch how he does this. When this play begins, you see really it's going to be that fake towards the bottom of the screen. Does have a really good job at kind of understanding how to do little things to help him get open. Just that little fake towards his right. He cuts back over the middle, and you see right here there is a window for sure. So really good stuff here by Pearsall. And again, and against man coverage, it's going to be a lot more of this stuff than just pure go routes. And so the fact that he can win here, the 49ers might find even more appealing than if he was able to win in go routes, right? Like Keon Coleman can win in go routes, but he was drafted later. The 49ers would rather a guy like Pearsall. Also, good throw, is able to make the grab, so that's good as well that he was able to make the catch. Of course, probably wouldn't have shown it if it was. Well, I would have shown it if it was a drop, but it wouldn't be as optimistic about the play if it was a drop, I suppose. But definitely, these are things that he can do. And also, I just saw him do a lot of these plays where I'm like, this is 49ers stuff. Like, going to take the ball on a, it's a running play, essentially, where the quarterback is going to flip it back to him after he fakes a handoff to the running back, which, yeah, we've seen the 49ers do. We've seen Deebo Samuel do this a ton, right? Watch as, that's exactly what happens. Pearsall gets the ball, and, it's well blocked by Florida, but he does a good job in his own right of helping that out and being able to get into the end zone. And again, the fact that he can do these things, you've seen it on tape, he can do this in a game, there's less of a projection there. If you think, like, oh, maybe he'd be good at these, sort of, types of plays, it's better to see someone actually, better to see him actually do it than just assume he would be able to do it. Because sometimes, you assume someone can do something, but it turns out they can't. Here, we know he can do it. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on him as a player, because I do think he can fit very well. And I think a lot of people will say, I see Brandon Ayuk basically out the door. I think there is some smoke to the smoke with the, is he going to leave? I don't think it's going to happen now. I think if he was going to leave, it would have happened already. Now, this could be an insurance policy for if he leaves after this season. I could see that. But also, like, I don't know, having a strong wide receiver 3 is still a really important position. Like, this is, still someone who I think could get, I don't think it's crazy to see he could get 600, 700 snaps next year, which for a first-round pick isn't, maybe perfect, because usually, if you play every snap, you're getting around 1,000, but I could see it. I could see him getting more than that as well. Again, they have Juwan Jennings, who's pretty good, but you can have 4 receivers out there from time to time if you want to. Like, you're allowed to do that. Obviously, then you have to take Kittle off the field. So I do think there is a bit of a fit question, but the thing is, like, guys are going to get injured. That's the other aspect of this. Like, the idea that everyone's going to stay healthy for the entire season probably isn't going to happen. They stayed pretty healthy last year, although still had some injuries, of course. But you're going to have some guys get banged up. So having depth is, football's a sport about depth, right? Yes, stars matter, but having, guys who can do a lot of different guys that can come in and play is still very important. There are going to be, key plays that he has to, be able to make, or key routes he'll have to run if the 49ers want to make a deep run. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I don't think it's crazy to say that this is the pick that still helps them right now, along with maybe some insurance if Ayuk is out the door. Although if I'm the 49ers, I'm re-signing Ayuk and keeping Pearsall here, who should be a good player. So yeah, those are my thoughts on him, how he fits with the 49ers, all of that good stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.